Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Prom Sports World. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point, and I'm David On Point. Right there is Mr. Israel Rivera, and we are going to be breaking down our way too early 2022 fantasy football rankings for you guys, the players that I think should be highly drafted in your fantasy football leagues if you're going to be playing next season. But yeah, I'm David right there, Mr. CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. And I am going to be sharing this link from our YouTube channel onto Facebook because we cannot post on Facebook right now. But that's only going to be a problem for a couple more days.
Technical
But yeah,
difficulties.
technical difficulties with changing it right to our Facebook page. So we're gonna be on top of that. Also, if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook/YouTube, Prime Sports World is the number one place to go. Go live about 4 or 5 times a week. Actually, this is our third day in a row that we have gone live covering the NBA and the NFL. So you don't want to miss that content. Also want to thank our friends over there at Rouge Bear for sponsoring us here at Prime Sports World. Drop the link to their website and our Facebook page, along with that NFL Facebook page as well. And I hope you guys have actually enjoyed the way we're doing it now with the StreamYard. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the new format. I personally think it looks really clean,
Yes.
so I'm really enjoying what we're putting out with the StreamYard content. And it'll be even better when we can get Facebook back up. Oh man, what is up, man? We haven't done a fantasy football show in quite some time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ever since our award show.
I'm excited. I'm excited to dive back into it. When doing these rankings, I know some players might be on the move. I really don't care. I still kind of just rank them just based off of their talent alone. So, but certain players would be on the move. So this might fluctuate when the season starts, but way too early.
Yeah, so this also does not include a single rookie. We did not factor in any rookies into our rankings here when we're talking about the players that we think are going to be in the National Football League because we don't know where they're going to be and if they're going to end up in a good situation or not. Until we know where they're going to play, we can't project how good they're going to be in fantasy.
Right.
So we left them out of these lists entirely. Let's get into the quarterback position. So we got my top 10 quarterbacks first. I got Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson. I do think that situation with Deshaun Watson will get cleared up before the season starts. Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford. And I have 3 guys on my outside looking in. I got Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. I look for Justin Fields to have a really good bounce-back season coming in with the new offensive coordinator, new system. Look for Justin Fields to bounce back in a big way next season. Or just, start his career on a much higher note than he was last season, at least for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't really factor outside looking in with my rankings. That's okay. I probably just freestyle it. I kind of already know a little bit like who I wanted the outside looking in at each position, anyways. So, but yeah, number 1 and number 2 are the same, right? Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. I think both of those guys are special. At number 3, I got Joe Burrow. Number 4, Pat Mahomes. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers. Number 6, Dak Prescott. Number 7, Kyler Murray. Number 8, Lamar Jackson. Number 9, Matthew Stafford. And round out my top 10 is Deshaun Watson. And if I did have to have an outside looking in, just like a dark horse or an 11th player, I would put Jalen Hurts in there. I think he'll have some momentum. I don't think they're looking to move on from Jalen Hurts in Philly at all. I think he'll build on from that momentum that he had last year.
Well, I think the bigger thing is that there's no one to move off him for. There's nobody to draft early in this year's draft, so it makes no sense to go that direction. There's no one to really get in free agency, and I think their trade. They do have 3 first-round picks. I would be shocked if they were one of those teams that traded for like an Aaron Rodgers or Matt Ryan or a Russell Wilson or maybe not Russell Wilson as much as Deshaun Watson. I just don't see it.
No, I totally agree. I mean, some of the names you brought up. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are on the trade. They're going to be on the trade block. Like you mentioned, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. You got Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Ryan. I don't think any of those guys are looking to go to Philly or Philly's even looking to trade for any of those guys because let's just face it, they're all on the downside of their career, right?
And as much, no disrespect to Matt Ryan or Jimmy Garoppolo. Are they that big of an upgrade over Jalen Hurts? I'm willing to give up any of the first round picks of capital that I've collected. No, I don't think so.
And I think of the situation with Jalen Hurts. he's dynamic as a runner, as a quarterback, and he has shown flashes that he could be a good passer in the league. He's just wildly inconsistent. If he can just shore up those inconsistencies as
And
a passer,
I
he's a
wonder how
legit top
much
10
I
quarterback.
wonder how much that factors in the fact that they have legitimately like one really good receiver in Philadelphia,
That's true.
Devontae Smith, who's a rookie last season. I mean,
Right.
outside of that, I mean Dallas Goedert's a very good
Dallas got
player,
her.
but I mean outside of that, I mean the wide receiver. I mean Jalen Rieger's been basically been a bust. I mean, like when you have offensive coaching staffs celebrating when you didn't take Justin Jefferson and you take Jalen Rieger, who hasn't panned out at all in the National
Ooh.
Football League, and they haven't really put weapons around him on the at the wide receiver level outside of Devontae Smith, who had a decent rookie season, but
Yeah.
nothing earth shattering, nothing immense.
Yeah, if they could build on that, and definitely when looking at Jalen Hurts' draft value, you kind of got to look at everything around him in the running game, right? Jordan Howard did some great things. I know Boston Scott comes out the backfield, but then you got
Miles
Kenneth
Sanders is good.
Gainwell,
Miles
Kenneth
Sanders is a good
Gainwell,
player.
Miles Sanders as well. So this Eagles team has an identity. They run the football really well, and when you're looking at Jalen Hurts, you're picking him for his running ability and his ability in the red zone to score
I also
touchdowns.
think something I also found extremely interesting with your rankings is how high you had Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is going to be an elite quarterback for foreseeable future, but to have him at 3 over Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray, I
He's
don't
up
know, man.
next, buddy.
I don't know,
He's
man. I
up
think
next. No, when I look at
that's too rich for me, man.
okay, when I look
I
at
think
Joe
for just
Burrow,
next season, I would rather have Lamar Jackson. I would rather have Dak Prescott. I'd rather have Mahomes for damn sure.
well, when I
Even though Lamar Jackson
well,
basically
let's pump the
cratered one of my
brakes.
fantasy teams.
Let's pump the brakes here. The only reason I got Joe Burrow so high now is because he's got all the damn weapons around him. He's got T. Higgins, he's got Jamar Chase, he's got Tyler Boyd, he's got C.J. Uzoma, he's
Who's a
got
free
Joe
agent that we
Mixon in
talked
the
about
backfield.
yesterday?
Yeah, well, they might bring. I mean, they might bring him back, and if they don't bring him back, they might upgrade that tight end position, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
he's got all the. He's got. There's a lot of tight ends. I mean, you got Hunter Henry out there. You got Mike Gesicki. Imagine if you added Mike Gesicki to the Bengals.
I don't think they can afford Mike Gesicki.
Well, I'm saying, imagine if they did, if they could. But I'm just saying, I mean, you could possibly look to upgrade. What if they added, say, a Jared Cook or something? I know he's on the downside of his career, but he's a veteran tight end.
He's still good. He still
He's
can
still
play.
good.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
let's not sit here and pretend that CJ Ozoma is a young man. Like the
No,
dude's,
he's
I think,
not.
29 years old. He's been in the league for a hot minute.
Yeah. So I just factored in the fact that I think Joe Burrow has all the weapons to be, and then with Dak Prescott, he's probably going to be down one of his guys in Michael Gallup. He'll probably was he a free agent? He was hurt, right? Too.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, he was hurt most of last season, anyways. But I mean,
yeah. And then Aaron Rodgers, we don't know his situation. He might get traded to the Broncos. He might stay in Green Bay. And then Pat Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, we could say Pat Mahomes. He's got the Legion of Zoom on his offense. But I'm picking Joe Burrow.
I mean, I don't necessarily hate it. I think to put Joe Burrow over without knowing what they do with that offensive line, without knowing what they're going to do with the tight end position, I just can't put him at 3. I think that's way too rich for me. I'll go 7. I do think he's going to be good next season, but 3 is just.
I'm taking a risk. I'm rolling the dice here. Dave.
Moving on from the quarterback position, let's talk about your running backs. By the way, our first 3 guys are literally the exact same guys.
So yeah, exactly. I'm great minds think alike. So Derrick Henry, number 1. Why would I be stupid enough to not have Derrick Henry at number 1?
I have seen a lot of rankings that do not have Derrick Henry as their number 1 running back. And I just look at them. I'm like, no. Derrick Henry was still the 5th best running back of the season, and he missed half of it.
Yeah,
in terms of yards.
For a long time in the season, he was a leading rusher. And Jonathan Taylor a minute to catch up to him.
He hadn't played in 4 weeks, and he was still the lead rusher in the National Football League.
Yeah. So and then number 2, Jonathan Taylor. The kid's electric. I love the guy. He runs hard. He's a superstar in the league now. He's here. Austin Eckler at number 3. He's the jack of all trades as well. At number 4, I got Dalvin Cook. Number 5, I got Joe Mixon. Number 6, Nick Chubb. Number 7, Najee Harris. Number 8, Alvin Kamara. Number 9, Javonte Williams. And then you guys will probably be surprised at my number 10, and it's Eli Mitchell. I think Eli Mitchell is going to take a step up in the San Francisco 49ers offense, especially with Trey Lance being at the quarterback position. It gives him a little bit more dynamic play style with his running ability. with his ability to stretch the offense. I know, I gave up on Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry. He's on my outside looking in. Don't get me wrong. He's on my outside looking in. But the guy, until he can prove that he could stay on the field, he can't be in my top 10. But in my outside looking in, these are the three guys that are on my outside looking in. And the times have changed. The times have changed, David, where these guys are not in the top 10 anymore. We got Zeke Elliott, Christian McCaffrey, and we got my man's Saquon Barkley, all on the outside looking in. The times have changed. They are not in my top 10, but they are on the outside looking in for me.
I had a hard time even putting Christian McCaffrey at 9 because I am with you. I do not trust him. If I am playing fantasy next season, I will not own him. Just straight up, I will not own him. Like, if it's not happening, I don't trust him. But I think the talent there is, and his usage rate is going to be through the roof, which is why he's always hurt. But my number 1, I got Derrick Henry. 2, Jonathan Taylor. 3, Austin Eckler. Man, Austin Eckler had one hell of a fantasy season last year. I believe he was the number 2 running back in all of fantasy last year in PPR format. The dude was a beast. 4, Alvin Kamara. He's still going to be the most important part of that Saints offense, no matter what they do at quarterback. Alvin Kamara is going to be the engine that makes that go. 5, Nick Chubb. 6, Dalvin Cook. 7, Joe Mixon. 8, David Montgomery. Had a great season this past year. He doesn't really have any competition on the current Bears roster unless they draft somebody in the draft, which could happen. And then I got Chris McCaffrey at 9. 10, I got Najee Harris, who had a really good rookie season. I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to bolster that offensive line a little bit, make it easier for him to run. But we'll see. And then my outside looking in, I got Ezekiel Elliott, Javonte Williams, and Aaron Jones. I still think Aaron Jones will be a big part of the Green Bay Packers offense, even with the emergence of A.J. Dillon.
Right, yeah, no. So that's another reason why he wasn't in my outside looking in is because of the emergence of A.J. Dillon. They're kind of in a way, they're in like a timeshare there in terms of like carries, right? But Aaron Jones has he has a little bit more upside out the backfield catching the football, right? So
yep, 100%.
Yeah, so the reason why my outside looking in is those 3 former superstars is because I'm not giving up on those 3 guys, but the times have changed where they're not top 10 fantasy running backs anymore. In my opinion.
Those 3 guys that you mentioned, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, and Christian McCaffrey, if those guys were to fall to me like in the 2nd or 3rd round, that's where I would take them. Neither of those guys I think are 1st round, 2nd round talents anymore. Maybe you can make the argument Christian McCaffrey back end of the 1st round, but Ezekiel Elliott, I'm not taking him in the 1st round. I'm not taking Saquon Barkley in the 1st round. People have gotten burnt by both of those guys, especially Saquon Barkley. Like he's on my do not draft list.
Saquon Barkley will be the situation in New York is a little dire. And then I would say about Zeke Elliott. If I get Zeke Elliott, I want to handcuff Tony Pollard as well.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Moving on from the running backs to those pass catchers, those wide receivers, and my number 1 is Cooper freaking Kupp. You win the Triple Crown, you get to be my number 1 wide receiver. 2, Devontae Adams. 3, Deebo Samuel. 4, Tyreek Hill. 5, Justin Jefferson. 6, Stephon Diggs. 7, DeAndre Hopkins. 8, Jamar Chase. 9, A.J. Brown. 10, Keenan Allen. And my outside looking in, I got CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Lockett, and Mike freaking Evans. The rationale for Cooper Kupp over Devontae Adams, the dude won the Triple Crown. The dude was the best fantasy wide receiver by a long shot this past season, and I'm not totally sure I know where Devontae Adams is going to be suiting up next season, or who's going to be throwing to him if he stays in Green Bay.
Okay, yeah, Cooper Kupp put up the better numbers, but we all know who's the better talent. So no, Devontae Adams, number one on my list. I might be a little biased, but Devontae Adams. You know how this goes, man. You know how this goes. I only had, I think out of the last 2 years, I think I've had Devontae Adams not my number 1 like 2 times. So
I have had Devontae Adams pretty high most of the way, but Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown, and there's no reason that his usage rate is not going to be the same.
That's why he's my number 2 guy. He's my number 2 guy. And number 3, Jamar Chase. I do like the fact that number 3 you got Deebo Samuel. I was kind of fighting that a little bit. But number 3 is Jamar Chase. But I do understand why you dropped him a little bit because some teams are going to have a lot of tape on him. Now,
so this is actually some TJ Hopkins rationale right here. So you can do it once. You can do it once. Do it again. If Jamar Chase does it again, then yeah, you get to be a higher wide receiver on my rankings than DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill. But until you do it again, yeah, I've seen these guys do it from season to season consistently every single year. Jamar Chase, everybody can have one good season. You remember how good Brandon Lloyd was that one year? What do you do after that? Not a lot.
No, he went back in the day with Brandon Lloyd, Joe. No, you know what? I've seen enough of Jamar Chase to know that him and Joe Burrow are just special together, and I love that connection. At number 4, Justin Jefferson. Number 5, Deebo Samuel. Number 6, AJ Brown. Number 7, Tyreek Hill. Number 8, Stephon Diggs. Number 9, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 10, CeeDee Lamb. And if I had the outside looking in, I'm gonna go with Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, and give me Deontay Johnson from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, I like that one a lot. That's nice.
Yeah.
You're wide receiver. I got no issues outside of the Jamar Chase being way too high for me. That's my honest opinion on it. But I think the rest of your rankings is pretty.
Well, I like Deontay Johnson this year. I think they'll trade for a solid quarterback, whether that's maybe Matt Ryan or Jimmy G. They'll get somebody solid in there. Juju's gone. I mean, even though that didn't even matter, but I think Deontay Johnson will take a next step next year. He's definitely the number 1 threat. And then we got my guy at tight end coming up next. I think he's gonna take the next step, man. Right, get it rolling in the tight ends.
Rolling into our tight ends, man. Let's hear your top 10 rankings when it comes to those tight ends.
My tight ends. I got Travis Kelce number 1. At number 2, I got Kyle Pitts. Boy, Kyle Pitts is. Hey, I know. There's another TJ logic. Do it again. But Kyle Pitts, man, he showed me something last year, man. And I know he only scored a touchdown overseas this year. And yeah. But anyways, he's special, man. The kid is special. At number 3, George Kittle. Number 4, Darren Waller. Number 5, Mark Andrews. Number 6, TJ Hawkinson. Number 7, Mike Gesicki. Number 8, Dallas Goedert. Number 9, Dawson Knox. And then rounding out my top 10, the guy I was just mentioned, Pat Freiermuth. He played exceptionally well at the tight end position as a rookie for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think if they get a better upgrade, if they get an upgrade at quarterback next season, I think his fantasy value will increase. And then I want to say on my outside looking in, I'm gonna give a shout out. To this guy. I mean, I could go anyway. I'm kind of freestyling this, but I think this guy's gonna probably vault in the top 10. And a lot of guys, I'm just gonna give one guy a dark horse. I didn't even get an outside looking in. Look out for Irv Smith Jr. on the Minnesota Vikings.
How did I know that's the guy you were going to mention?
You already knew. Look out for Irv Smith Jr. and the Minnesota Vikings, man. If he's healthy and they get Deshaun Watson next season, watch out. That's all I got to say.
I mean, even if they keep Kirk Cousins, watch out because he relies on the tight end quite a bit. So I think this may be the first ranking that we've done in 2 years where you're higher on Mike Gesicki than I am.
Well, by one slot.
I know, but I'm not sure Mike Gesicki's going to be playing next season. Like if he's back in Miami, I think his fantasy value is probably going to be fine. But depending, like we all thought that Jonas Smith was going to be a fantasy stud going to New England, didn't pan out that way.
He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. I just wonder where he's going to go. I think he'll go to a spot where he's going to get a lot of touches. So, we got to look at the forecast, but whatever.
My rankings: number 1, Travis Kelce; 2, George Kittle; 3, Mark Andrews; 4, Darren Waller; 5, Dawson Knox. I could not put Kyle Pitts over guys who've done this season, at least 2 seasons in a row. Dawson Knox has been good for 2 seasons. Darren Waller good for 2 seasons. Mark Andrews, those 3 guys are just staples. Yeah, Kyle Pitts, I couldn't put him over any of those guys. Dallas Goedert, Mike Gesicki, TJ Hawkinson, Hunter Henry round up my top 10, and then my outside looking in, I got Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, who is a free agent. I'm not sure where he'll end up. I think Dallas would be crazy to let him walk. Then I got Noah Fant and Pat Freiermuth. Rounding out my outside looking in. I am a little concerned about the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's a guaranteed lock that they're going to trade for somebody that's going to make them that much better. We'll see. The same thing with Noah Fant. I mean, Noah Fant was like super good in some games this season, and then he would like disappear for other games. So I think he's too much of a coin flip for me to start him as my fantasy tight end for most of the season.
Those 2 guys, their value is going to be predicated on what kind of quarterback situation they're going to have. Those teams are going to have.
I mean,
so if Pittsburgh
if it's
rolls
Drew
out
Lock,
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, if it's Mason Rudolph and Drew Lock for both of those situations,
Right.
I'm not high on Pat Fryermuth or Noah Font for next season.
And in my guy Deontay Johnson that I just mentioned on my outside looking for my wide receivers. If they rolling out Mason Rudolph, he's not a guy that's gonna have some a top 10 potential value as well. So
Yeah.
So
moving on from this, we got our defensive rankings. I only ranked 8. I did 5, and then my outside looking in. So I got the Saints. I still expect the New Orleans Saints to have one of the better defenses in the National Football League. It's really the only reason they were competitive last year, and I expect bringing Dennis Allen as the head coach, they'll keep that defensive identity. 2 Buffalo Bills. Ladavius White's going to come back at some point. I expect them to address the cornerback situation and pass rush in the draft. 3 49ers, as long as they can shoot up their secondary a little bit. Broncos. 5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then my outside looking in, I got the Rams, who still have Aaron Donald at this point, the Patriots, who have J.C. Jackson. At least I don't expect him to leave, and then I got the Green Bay Packers at number 8. They just play in a division where they should put up big numbers on defense. Like their defense is built to win now.
Yeah, you're talking about the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They're getting healthy. So one thing we got to watch out with the Green Bay Packers, we don't know the situation that's going to happen with Zadarius Smith. He's owed a lot of money on the cap. I think he's owed like in upwards of like $30-something million. So I don't know if they're going to waive him or not. That's a decision that they have to make.
I mean, Devondre Campbell is for sure not going to be back.
Devondre Campbell's not going to be back. But I do like the fact that they're going to get a healthy Jair Alexander back. Eric Stokes got another year on. They got 2 good safeties back there. They still haven't really addressed the nickel corner situation. Kevin King's still on the roster.
I mean, they could bring back what's his name, the guy who basically saved your season multiple times this year.
Oh yeah, no,
Douglas?
Douglas. Yeah, Rasul Douglas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they bring back Rasul Douglas, that'll be money. And then so we don't know. And then Rashawn Gary was great. So yeah, I do agree with that. Packers should be in the top 10 the next year. Number 1, I got the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, I was gonna rise you and say the 48ers, but he had to switch that up real quick, y'all. He had to switch that up. At number 2, the San Francisco.
I was looking at it like, wait a minute.
All right. At number 3, I got the New Orleans Saints. And number 4, I got the Indianapolis Colts. Number 5, I got the Denver Broncos. Number 6, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 7, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, I know you got them in the top 5, but godly with Brady gone. I mean, they're probably bringing back much of that defense. Besides maybe Carlton Davis. So we'll see what goes on with the Buccaneers. But they had some problems in the secondary.
So the quote unquote experts have Tampa Bay's defense as the number 1 defense going into next year.
I don't see that.
I don't get that.
Yeah, Tom Brady's not playing, so who's going to put up points? They're going to be on the field for a long time. So I mean, but I'm pretty sure they'll trade for somebody, Carson Wentz or whoever the hell they need to go get. And number 8,
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo will be the perfect person to go to Tampa Bay. And then number 8, I got the Los Angeles Chargers. I know their defense is kind of mediocre last season, but I think they're due for a bounce back this season. That defense, they got some talented guys on that defense. Just to say that. And number 9, the Cleveland Browns, and then round out my top 10, I got the Green Bay Packers. I probably should have them higher. I probably should have them where the Chargers are, actually, honestly. But that's my top 10 in terms of fantasy defenses.
Yeah, we don't really know what these defenses are going to look at based on free agency. But if I roll the dice, the Saints is the number. I think the defenses are going to be awesome next season, especially against the run.
Yeah, exactly. And who's their their linebacker that's just a monster?
D'Amico Ryans? No.
The other guy.
Hold on.
Yeah, pull him up. Pull it up. We got time. We got time. I forget his name, man. Oh my gosh, what the hell is his name? The middle linebacker. He's a beast, man. Anyways, yeah, he's a beast, man. I like the New Orleans Saints, man. They're gonna be up there in the top 3 fantasy defense. The only thing is their quarterback, their offense, man. Is their defense gonna be on the field a whole whole ton next season, or are they gonna be able to put some points up? So that's the only defense. That's the only problem I have with him. Demario Davis. Bow. There we go. Yeah, that dude's an absolute monster, and he's the catalyst of their defense. So
I mean, and they have Marshawn Lattimore, probably one of the top 5 to 10 corners in the whole league.
still got
So,
Cam Jordan. You know, you still got a good pass rush there.
Marcus
Marcus
Davenport is
Davenport there.
developing.
Yep. So yeah, man, New Orleans Saints are up there, man. So oh, and then they got you said Marshawn Lattimore, and who's the they got the other kid, Marcus
Marcus Williams, the free safety right now, but
Marcus Williams, free safety.
He's going to be a free agent. I'm not sure they're going to be able to afford to bring him back.
Man, yeah, well, man, that's going to be a big loss if they can. But if they can, man, I mean, that defense is going to be special. I just hope that they get that quarterback situation right and their defense can get some rest next season.
I mean, as a Green Bay Packer fan, you probably wish that doesn't happen.
No. I wish it doesn't happen either because they blew us
you hope they keep rolling out Taysom Hill and their defense is on the field a ton.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, man. They blew us out in week 1. So I mean, man, yeah, I don't want to see that happen.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back on Facebook hopefully very, very soon. But continue checking us out on YouTube. I've been David Huppin. Right there is Mr. CEO, Mr. Israel Rivera. And gentlemen, sir, what we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Bringing the heat.
And we need it here in Chicago, baby, because it is like 20 degrees outside. So bring us some of that heat, man. We need it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys later. Me and TJ are going to be back on Friday, bringing you the crossover. We're going to preview the second half of the NBA season, talk about the storylines we're watching, some of the stuff to keep an eye on. You're not going to want to miss that content. I'm David. There's Mr. Rivera. We will see you guys later. You all have a good day.
Peace out.
Peace out, brother.